telling us about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and how you came to Atlanta and became a part of the Atlanta Student.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Doloris Young Strawbridge, and I am from Tennessee, a small town near Nashville called Lewisburg, Tennessee. I chose not to attend Fisk or Tennessee State because it was too close to my home. I received a scholarship at Spelman, so I came to Spelman. I had a cousin at Morehouse who told me and sent pictures that I would not like Spelman because it was like a prison. They had so many rules. The girls had to be in by 6, all that. But my grandmother said, "You're going because you have a scholarship." So I came, small town girl, to the big city, and I was excited. And my cousin was right. We couldn't do a lot of things. We couldn't even go across the street to the library until second semester. And when we went downtown, we had to go in groups of 6 with gloves and a senior chaperone. So I became very much acclimated to what was going on at Spelman. And I was listening and hearing about participating in the student movement. But Spelman had sent a letter to all of the parents telling them to give them permission or no to participate, that they were not going to be responsible. Well, my mother was in a small town. She was a teacher, and she said definitely no because it may impact her in some way. So I didn't do anything. But after a while, I started attending the meetings at Rush Memorial Church. And I became inspired, and I just felt I had to do something because I'm a product of segregation. In my small town, we didn't have a swimming pool, we couldn't go to the parks, and had to sit upstairs. And we would go out the side door and go to a restaurant. We had to enter in the back door and get our food and sneak it back into the movie theater. So I knew that that was wrong, but that's all I had at that time. I would travel to Florida. My uncle was a doctor, and we'd take family trips, and that was fun. But we always had to take our own lunch. And I really didn't know why. It was just fun to me, though. We would stop, wash our hands with the ice, and just have a picnic. And then I realized I couldn't go to a restaurant. So when I came to Spelman and I realized the importance, and I needed to be as equal as everyone else, and I had a chance here in Atlanta. So I attended the meetings, and I became inspired. I wanted to be a part of making a change. So one day they said they were going to do protest in front of Grady Hospital because they had separate waiting rooms. So a group of Spelmanites, we went down with our Morehouse brothers, and we were walking and protesting, and the policeman came and asked us to move 3 times. Some of them left and some didn't, and I was one of the ones that didn't leave. So they put us in the paddy wagon. And then I was a little afraid. I said, "What's going on?" And the guy said, "Oh, they're just going to take us back to campus." Excuse me, in the paddy wagon. Then I noticed we were going to jail. I was afraid. They locked us up, but they kept us from the other prisoners. And I had a call, and I called my daddy. My parents were divorced. I was afraid to call my mother because she had told me not to participate. And here I am in jail. And I said, "Daddy, call Mama and tell her I'm in jail, that I was in the student protest." So she had also received a letter from Spelman saying that your daughter has been locked up. So I spent the night in jail, and the next morning we went to court. Horace Ward was our attorney, and I realized at the last minute that we were going elsewhere. We were not going to go back to college. And they took us to a farm. By then, I was really afraid. But I still felt good about what I was trying to do. And we were eating. They issued us uniforms. And then our dean of women came, Marcia Johnson, and took a, we were able to leave. But there were a lot of my classmates who were afraid to participate, but they would make the cards, the posters, and take the, give us the work that we missed in our classes. So I felt good and I felt committed. I did not want to leave because as they were asking us to disperse, a lot of people left. I can't go to jail. I have to take my medicine, da-da-da-da-da. But I felt that I had committed to that, and I was going to follow through because that's just the way I am. When I commit to something, I see it through. And I'm glad that I was able to participate. And I saw so many changes. I was a student at Spelman, and I stayed on campus. I heard about Lestomatics and all the places you couldn't go, but I was pretty much sheltered. I knew where I couldn't go, but it didn't matter. I was a city student. I had no mode of transportation. So I'm just happy that I could participate. And my mother finally understood that that was something I had to do. And then one of my classmates decided for our 50th anniversary reunion at Spelman that she wanted to do a video of those of us who participated in the movement. And because of that, I guess I'm here. I wanted to share my experience during that time.
Wonderful. Did you want to say anything about SNCC?
Well, I heard about SNCC and the Freedom Riders, and I was proud that they had whites also who were involved. So it's not like all whites hated us, and they lost their lives also. And knew Lonnie King, I heard of him. I wasn't Julian Bond. So it was